Hi, everybody. That's the baseball head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion. Your host, Hud, and welcome back to the baseball head. Hopefully, you like this video. Hit that subscribe button. So, I'm in the fifth inning watching the Met game against the Mariners. This Mariners team is a playoff team. You can see it. And they pitched really well. And I was very concerned before the road trip that the Mets were going to get swamped here. And they're getting swamped. Just above everything else. They're just not as good as the Mariners. And to be honest with you, the Mets have a bad history of playing poorly in Seattle for whatever reason. And this has continued on. I mean, they don't even show up a lot of times. You look at the Mets' records, and I'm not going to go through it here. They've played very poorly in this particular city for whatever reason. And as I watched this game, they're down 4-0. I would mention that Francisco Lindor, he made a play, but I don't really blame him for that play. I don't think that he was going to be able to throw Randy Rosarena out. But then Raleigh hit a home run right after that. It's a killer. But he shouldn't be killing himself for the home run. He was going to make that play. That was a tough play. But nevertheless, this has been a very difficult series for the Mets. And now we're, 24 innings into them not scoring a run. This is a very good pitching staff. And it's tough, a very good starting staff. And it's very tough when you have a lineup that has had a reputation of having very long cold spells. And the cold spells tend to go for about a month or so. It is difficult to go up against a team that has that good of a pitching staff. And that fifth inning fell apart for Severino. They were just teeing off on him between Canzone and Raleigh. He pitched well in this game. He was being very gutty. We know he gave up the homer early to what's-his-face, but this is a tough spot now where the Mets are in. But they're coming home tomorrow, and they'll be playing on Tuesday against one of the worst teams in baseball. And I expect that they will play well at home against the A's, then the Marlins, and then they have a real test, an even bigger test, and then they go back with the Baltimore Orioles, and then they go back out on the road, back on the West Coast. So this is really, but I would mention, though, the Braves lost today. The Braves had a 6-run lead in the 8th inning, which they blew. So the Mets are right there. I mean, I'm not concerned by that. It's just the problem with this road trip goes back to the beginning of the road trip, which was the second game of the road trip, which was the second game in Anaheim. Buzzlebutt, whoever the hell his name is, Buzzlebutt, gave up the 3-run home run in the 7th inning. When the Mets had that game, they just had to get through that inning and get to the 9th inning to get to Diaz, because Diaz would have shut the game down. But that's where this whole road trip really was a mess right there, because they had the game. They didn't win the game. They had a very good series in Colorado. They won the makeup day in St. Louis. And I was very concerned before the road trip that the Mets were going to be having a difficult time here in Seattle. And unfortunately, that has come to pass. It has come to pass. Hopefully they can get a run in this game just to get off the schneid, because you don't want to go home and then have a 28 scoreless streak going back home. Mets have plenty of opportunities, but I would mention also the Mariners play really good defense in this series. That play in the 5th inning by Rosarena off of Brandon Nimmo was a very good play. The double play on Saturday was an excellent one, the best double plays I've seen in a very long time. And when you go up against a good defensive team, and this team is very good defensively, obviously from what we've seen, I would mention that the Rockies are probably better than them in their infield, but this team has the pitching. And when you have good pitching and good defense, it's very difficult to be a team like that. And when you're a team that's struggling already offensively for the last 3 weeks, which is what the Mets have been doing since the All-Star break, they're not hitting with men on base, they're not hitting home runs. This is the kind of streak that we've seen before. We saw this at the end of 2022. We saw this in June of 23. We saw this in May. This is the same garbage that we've seen from time to time with this team. Hopefully, this will not be a month and a half because we got another 7 weeks of this season to finish up the year. But they do go home. They play against two bad teams. I can't tell you how bad the A's are. They're with 19 games on the 500. I was looking at their record, surprised it wasn't worse than it was. And then they play the Marlins, and the Marlins have had a bad year. But the Marlins are giving the Mets problems this year, like they always do. I will say this about the Marlins. The Mets have to stop playing them in spring training. That's why the Marlins play so well. They're too comfortable against the Mets. I know a lot of spring training games is about location, but you know what? Let's not kill ourselves with our team during the season. The during season stuff is more important than how many games you play in spring training. That's a small thing. Might not mean anything. But this has been a tough series. Now, I've not seen the first two games, but I'm watching this game now. They're not going to hit the Castillo. Castillo's one of the best pitchers in baseball, and he's been for the last 5 years. What we got here? Jeff McNeil hit a home run. Look at that. Ding, 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 ding. Hallelujah. The Mets are off the schneid. Ding, ding, ding. Mets have broken the dam. Finally. Scored a run. Jeff McNeil's hit a home run. Solo shot. He's really the only guy that's been hitting, really, quite frankly. Hoping this will get them going. I'm still going to record this video. Okay? I don't know how the game, obviously, I don't know. Normally, I don't do this stuff. I don't normally post videos and record videos during the game. It's not really smart to do that. But there are things that should be concerning. Brandon Nimmo has not hit. I do not suggest that you sit him. I do like the fact that Mendoza has been shifting the lineup around a little bit. I don't like the idea of Jesse Winker batting third or fourth. Other than his 3-hit game, he hasn't done much, to be honest with you. That he had in Colorado on Wednesday. But I would mention Mark Vientos did not play today. He had, I guess, he's got a sore ankle. That those things are going to happen. Hopefully it's not serious. I doubt it. He'll just have to get off his foot for a couple of days if it's a sore ankle, to be honest with you. And the Mets have been playing a lot of games in a row. I've been running around the country 4 different time zones in 10 days. It's a lot. It's a lot for a team. It's a lot for any person to deal with. But Mets are now down 4-1 in the game. And like I said, the Mets have been okay on the trip. They had that one bad loss in Anaheim. That loss killed them because it would have set them up for at least to win 5 games on this road trip. But the Braves lost today. The Braves had lost. We'll mention this again. The Braves lost 6 in a row. They won on Saturday, and then they were up 6 to the Rockies of all teams. But we saw with the Rockies. The Rockies, even though they're bad, they have some talent. They're going to be better next year. You see the talent starting to build, especially the everyday players. And they were up by 6 runs against the Rockies. And, of course, that ballpark, you don't take any chances, and they came back and beat the Braves. Scored 6 runs, I guess 7 runs in the eighth inning, and they came back and won the game against the Braves. So the Mets are right there. So there's no panic here. It's funny, there's more panic here in May than it is now because we're already we're getting to the last quarter of the season now. We're in the middle of the hunt. This is where we wanted to be. Every game matters. Obviously, it's not the end of the road. If the Mets lose today, it's not the end of the season. Like a lot of bullshit artists are saying online, it's not the end. Okay, there's a game on Tuesday against one of the worst teams in baseball, the Philadelphia, Kansas City. Here we come. Oakland, Las Vegas, what stays in Vegas, Athletics. I will mention this. They mic'd up Julio Rodriguez during the game. That guy completely talks gibberish. Complete total gibberish. He did not add anything to this broadcast at all. Normally I don't complain about the broadcast of ESPN. I think they're decent. Mainly because of David Cohn. But boy, oh boy, you can't go and talk to somebody that talks complete gibberish like Julio Rodriguez. He talks gibberish. I don't know what the hell. He has a monkey. I mean, you're a grown man. Grown men don't own monkeys. I'm sorry. That's effing weird. And it's childish. That is effing weird. I'll say it's fucking weird. I don't care what anybody says. Wow, and then they're trying to make it normal. I mean, if you think about it, no normal person owns a monkey. Michael Jackson owned a monkey, for God's sake. For God's sake. What's this? Double off the wall for Stanek. But, yeah, I mean, he's a weirdo. That guy is weird. And he doesn't shut up. He's chirping at Severino during the game. I mentioned Severino was out of the game as I'm recording this video. So he pitched well into the 5th inning. Kind of what happened with Quintana. He went to the 7th inning on Friday. But this is what happens when you have a good pitching staff. Is all you need is a little bit of a push by the offense. And they'll beat the other team. Hopefully the Mets can come back in this game. They got 9 outs to play with after this. Hopefully Stanek doesn't give up any more runs in this game. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. Hopefully the Mets will come back in it. If not, you got plenty of stuff. I don't need to know what happens in the next 3 innings. All I know is they got off the schneid that they're not coming home and haven't scored a run in this series. So, thank you for watching this video. And of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut, the best channel on YouTube. Don't let anybody fool you. It is the best. I have to think that because who else is going to think that? If I don't think that, nobody else will. And channel's garbage. No, it is the best. Thank you, and I'll see you later.